First of all, thank you so much for coming to our Media Day. We are streaming live this year with Regional Radio Sport. So what we're going to do is if you have questions, comments, things, we're going to just raise your hand, and Adam from Regional Radio Sport is going to come around and bring the mics. That way we pick up voices for that live feed. So, again, thank you for coming. We have Coach Martinez, the head women's basketball coach here, and then J.C. Borlick, Alex Croy, and Ashlyn Sanders representing the women's basketball team.
First question. Good afternoon, Coach. Welcome.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
It's great that you could be here today. Give us an idea what it's like after losing a tremendous senior class. This is not the first rodeo for you to have to recycle through a great group of kids, but you're back with a whole bunch of new faces after a big senior class that had a tremendous legacy.
Yes, Paul, as you alluded to, we graduated 10 seniors last year. Our top 8 players, minute-wise, have left us. And so we're kind of in the teaching mode. It's an interesting challenge that we'll have before us. We have a good bunch of freshmen that have come in here. Our junior class, along with one senior, Ashlyn, have been displaying unbelievable great work ethic. It's just the patient thing. And when you teach as much as we have to teach our system, you have to expect the freshmen they're going to be overwhelmed, and that's been the case. But the work ethic has offset the learning curve. I think we're excited about playing scrimmages next week and to get a true evaluation of where we're at this season.
Jody Metcalf with Regional Radio Sports. After having the luxury of working with a veteran team like you have the past couple seasons, what is it going to be like working with a younger and somewhat inexperienced group?
I think it's going to be exciting because this group, even the juniors, some of these juniors had split time between JV games and varsity games. It's their opportunity to play, and our freshmen have come in here and started competing with them. It's been exciting to see how the freshmen have not been hesitant, not looking at the labels of a freshman title or a junior title. It's not upper class versus the underclass. It's who's ready to go, and you're going to see a good mix. You're going to see some freshmen play early this year, and that's been not the case in the years past. And so I think the freshmen have earned their respect. And if not, then the juniors have a problem because they've earned the respect from the staff.
Jody, once again, Paul Condry. Give us an idea what it's like not having Jim Arnold on the staff. Provided a lot of experience and wisdom there. And now you've got Katie Stuffy and Laura Glass as part of the staff, and obviously with Chris and Nat being a part of the staff. But still a big void because he provided a tremendous amount of experience.
Well, the biggest part of it, that's my father-in-law that's finally retired from coaching this past summer. Natalie and Chris and I, we enjoyed making fun of him at times because he would say some strange things, and he would go back to his high school coaching days and he'll say one term and the girls understand a different term, and it's just like Alex is laughing because they have a good relationship, but that's part of the thing we'll miss the most is just the laughing part. The wisdom, the strategies, we're still running some of his plays from offense and the defensive side of things. So we'll miss him on the sidelines. The JV program will miss him. But he'll be around. He'll be a fan, and he'll be cheering us on as much as he can.
Next question.
This question is for any of the ladies up there. What did you learn from having a chance to play with a player like Laura Johnson last season?
Very good learning experience. Just learning how to work that, just watching her just play, her determination to score and to just come play every day.
Once again, a question for any of the gals. Now that you're in the situation where you're being called to be the leader, basically, let me start with you then. We move from left to right, respectively. What's the first thing that Coach and Natalie and Chris sat down with you to talk about? Okay, this is part of your team. This is your legacy now. So let's talk about what you are putting into this season to show your legacy.
One of the first things that I kind of understood from the beginning of the season was that the bar is raised from last season, and the level of competitiveness and is huge. Going from JV to varsity, it's not just going through the motions anymore. We have to step up, and we have big shoes to fill. I mean, we made it to the Elite Eight last year, and we are hoping to make it again this year. So just the fact that we have big shoes to fill, like I said. So.
I think the biggest thing for me was learning just years about role playing. So just realizing we each have a role in the team, and just accepting that role and being okay with it. And I know for me, I'm not going to be the big scorer, but I have a certain role, and I know that my teammates are going to be scorers. And so accepting my position on there and accepting how many minutes I role play, but also giving giving all the effort I have. So just knowing that we each have a role in the team and accepting that role.
Jody, when you lose 10 seniors, and everybody had a role. And this program has not won 20 plus wins for 15 years in a row without having everybody a designed role. When you go into recruiting a student athlete, as well as the kids coming up through the program right now, you define what their role is when you see them play as high schoolers, get them there, or is that role always in a constant state of evolution?
When I recruit, I look at quality players first in terms on and off the court, the character, work ethic, talent. Because when you come to Bethel, then your role is going to change. I mean, JC being a top scorer, John Glenn, and she had to learn the next 2 years. Okay, this is what your role is going to be defined as. So it's changed for her, and then it changed for many of them. The thing is when they start competing in September, as we go through preseason and then start doing the structure, they almost can tell who's the best shooter, who's the consistent shooter, who's your best ball handler. They're going to tell who's the scrappiest on defense. And that's just a maturity thing. Is either you deal with it or you learn how to compete and work harder to earn your playing time. So as the roles are being defined, it's not till usually October, which we've been in for a couple weeks now. The positions are being filled. The positions are being the depth chart, and they're starting to figure out, all right, when he pulls out the first 10, it seems like we're the first 10 out here, or here's the next 5 off the sideline to be subs, and it's being defined. And after we finish our 4 scrimmages next week, they'll know going into their game, our first official game, their role, because we'll have individual meetings.
JC, question in regards to that role. We saw Laura Johnson when she came into the program. She played junior varsity. The next thing you know, a couple years later, she's an All-American. Does that give everybody hope at some point in time that if you stay within this system, you work hard and do all the things that the coaching staff is talking about, that who knows, you could be the next All-American?
That is very true. You have to buy into the system and what it's teaching you and telling you to do, and you have to step up from going JV to varsity, because who knows, you could be the next All-American, but you have to put time into it. It's not just going to come, and just because you're a junior doesn't mean you're going to get playing time. So that's just all up to you in the grand scheme of things.
This question for Jody and any of the ladies. Do you like the fact that you guys are not getting a lot of attention from the conference and the fact that you're going to be now the hunter instead of the hunted at this point?
I actually really like that because I think it's going to show people that we are really good and that we're going to come from behind. And just because we're not anything, people don't think we're special, we are. And they're going to find out soon enough once we do start competing who we are. And we're fighting just as much as any other team is.
One of the reasons I chose these 3 girls to be here, Ashlyn, a local product of South Bend Riley, and Alex at Penn, and then JC at John Glenn, is to get an awareness out there of local talent. And here we coming together to be one team. And so hopefully we can bring some local flavor. Not only that, now when you look at the conference preseason ranking, that's all it is preseason. Hopefully the respect is more on the historical side of things. And as you alluded to earlier, we are one of the few programs at any level that has won over 20 games 15 years in a row. And it's because of the effort of these young ladies. They may have not have been the stars last year. They may not have been playing major minutes, but every day they were out here making us better as a team. and that's what the success comes from. And we'll continue that tradition the best we can. And I think they're going to be an exciting group. They're going to be a different group. And we had a 3-hour practice last night, and we kind of looked at each other and said, all right, they're getting it. And Nally put this in a recruiting piece one time, says, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. It takes us time to put the puzzle together, but we will put the puzzle together, and they're fun to watch.
Jody, who else are you expecting big things from?
Well, I tell you, the freshman class has been surprising. Amy Swihart from Goshen has been an amazing point guard. Her and Chelsea Ward go at each other. Chelsea Ward's a junior from Mishawaka, and it's fun to see Amy get at it. So those two right there are your point guards. Our shooting guard is Rachel Jennings from Logan Sport. She came in here very confident. And the good thing about Rachel is she's getting better every day in her role as not only as a shooting guard, but defensive guard as well. Then we have Taylor Cease from Fort Wayne Leo, another freshman that is right there. Lauren Tanner from Plymouth might be one of our biggest surprises in terms of recruiting. When you watch someone in Plymouth, their structure is slow down, multiple passes, and our system is not. And so one of the things that you learn quickly coming here is you better learn how to shoot the three, you better run and gun, and of course you got to play defense. But Lauren's been a great surprise as well. And then we have a redshirt freshman, Angelique Moore. We call her Gigi, from Michigan City. She's got a lot of talent. We just got to make her believe in her talent. But Gigi's going to be another one. When you look at your junior class, you got, besides JC and Alex who are talking today, and our only senior, Ashlyn, you have Marissa Kuhlman, who's from Oak Hill, had great success down there. That'll be playing. Aaron Hunt from Jay County, scrappy guard. If we can get her to learn how to dribble with her scrappiness, we're going to be pretty good. A very good set shooter. She's kind of deceiving. She smiles a lot, but she plays pretty nasty. And then you have another captain, a teammate from Penn High School that Alex played with, is Ashley Lutz. I got to see her a lot this summer because of her locality that she was able to work out. Her game has changed, unbelievable. Another shooting guard. She could play actually all 5 positions. That's how good Ashley Lutz is.
For the next question, I'd like to remind players to speak into the microphones, please. Next question.
Coach, you touched a little bit on Amy, but give me a little bit more of an idea of what kind of a role you expect out of her this year and what she's bringing to your program.
Well, for those that watched Amy in high school at Goshen, there's a lot of games that when I went and saw her play, double, triple teamed. And you're not going to be able to do it at this collegiate level. There's too many weapons. So Amy's going to be able to be herself the way we play. So controlling the offensive sets, she's very scrappy on defense. And one of the things I preach is, man, you have 5 fouls, use them. We'll have depth. I don't like giving easy layups. I don't like passive defense. And Amy's definitely aggressive. She has great penetration skills. We're still working on, crossover, step backs, attacking more with your left hand instead of always being dominant right hand. But that's just typical for every freshman player, is to improve their weaknesses. But Amy is confident in her shooting. As she learns the plays, that's the biggest freshman mistake, is the system and the learning the plays and executing the plays. And you talked to me today. I feel like by Christmas break we're going to be really a tough team to compete with.
Jody, if you will break down the Crossroads League, St. Francis and IWU 1-2 in the preseason coaches poll. I know last year the men were number 7. They kind of used that and motivated them to play well and end up winning the postseason tournament. You have the same type of mentality, and you guys have been predicted 6th or 7th here, so same type of mentality. Just assess the league as a whole.
In terms of the preseason ranking, we were picked 6th. We beat Huntington by 1 vote. I don't use it. I mean, I just want them to be the best every day. That's how I motivate. These girls know I motivate as a team. I believe individual players should motivate themselves to perform. If you don't perform, guess what? You sit on the bench. Or thing I use in practice, I tell them I give them a skirt and they can be a cheerleader for my team. It is what it is. Once that first ranking comes out in December and the rankings are more consistent in January, February, then that's where I need to be at and focus on. I just need to develop this team to compete. And do I think the ranking is probably close? Historically, we're always in the top teams. It's one of those things as these girls, they want to use it for motivation, it's up to them. I'm not going to be using it. A couple years ago, we were picked 7th, and we came in 2nd, almost won the conference. Hopefully these girls were freshmen, they can learn from that experience.
Adam Shearer, Fox 28. This question's for all 3 of the girls, but just playing, so close to home, how much pride do you take in Michiana basketball and playing for one of the college teams around here?
Well, I know that for some of the JV games when I was on JV, I had lots of family, coming to the games and lots of support. As Alex's parents, I'm pretty sure came to travel games, everything, It does give me a sense of pride. Like, it makes me want to perform better just because we are local talent, and there's almost a sense of, like, you don't want to let down, your community and the people who support you. So I would say that is kind of a factor in a small part of my game, just because, these people have watched me play my whole life, and I don't want to let them down. So, yeah.
Well, as JC said, my parents come to every game pretty much, so I really like that part of it because I know I'm always going to have people supporting me, either my parents or parents that do come far away. And I take a lot, I want my performance on the court to be a reflection of them, so it's nice having them around to watch me play, but also to support me, and just knowing there's other family members that are from around here that come and watch me play, and I want my team to be a performance of what we do in practice that they're not always going to see. So it's nice having my hometown really close, just because it's enjoyable.
Same thing with both of them say that you enjoy something when you watch me play. Despite travel several hours to watch somebody else me play, but I just enjoy getting to all my games.
Next question.
All right. So get some final thoughts from coach and player.
My final thought, I just appreciate you guys taking time of your day to come here and support Bethel College and men and women's basketball. And as Coach Life and his crew come up here, just hopefully people will come watch us and watch a young team get after it, and we'll represent this community very well.
Good. Thank you, Coach.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robbie Lightfoot. I'm the sports information coordinator for the men's basketball team. We'll open up. Coach Lightfoot will have his opening comments, and then feel free to ask questions to Coach Lightfoot. We have 4 of the seniors. 5th senior, Michael Mislin, has a midterm, so he couldn't be able to be here today. We have Brandon Gerber. We have Landon Booker, Patrick Edding, and Brian Bennett. So feel free to ask away.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be anywhere at my age, and so I'm happy that we have a chance to start another year, and I'm excited about the opportunities. The leaves are turning. It's kind of getting cold out. I had to scrape some frost off of my car, so it's basketball time, and so I'm just happy to be with these guys. It seems like yesterday they were here as freshmen, and now they're seniors. We have 5 of them. We do take academics pretty serious, so that's why Miz isn't here. He's taking his midterm, and you guys can fire away and ask questions as you wish.
All right, Mike. Paul Condry, once again, Regional Radio Sports. Give us an idea on the motivation tactics compared to last year. The team was picked 7th, and it really seemed to burn a fire in everybody's belly here that they were going to play above and beyond what everybody thought that they were capable of, and you used that. But now you're in that same situation now where the mindset's a little bit different. You won the conference tournament, the number 2 team going into this thing. Does it change the way you motivate, change any of that dynamics?
Well, every year is a different year. I think every year you have to look at your team and find out, what motivates them, what gets them going. It is definitely, I think, one of those things that when you're picked 7th, it's easier to be motivated. But I think once you're there, now it's a great challenge to maintain that. So that's really what we're talking about doing here. We're back where we want to be as a program, and so the challenge for our guys is to make sure that now that they are the hunted rather than being hunted. I mean, we've been chasing people. Now we are the team that everybody's looking at. So, that's why these guys came here, and that's what our approach is. We just got to get better every day.
Landon, after having stood out last year, being a fierce competitor as you are, how frustrating was that for you not to be on the court last season?
Well, personally, it was a bit frustrating, just because that was the first actual time where I had to sit out from for a whole season. So I went through my own personal issues, but then as I got together with the team and just talked to them more, they basically helped me get through it. And coaches, they always told me even though I'm not playing, I can still do a lot more as far as being vocal and basically just guiding the guys and just showing them from my experience what's it's like to be on the court, what's it going to take to get to Branson and all those good things. So I really think that it really kind of matured me a lot as far as knowing that basketball is not going to be here forever, but what will I do when it's not around? So I think I really matured in that area.
Question for Ryan Benner. Ryan, give us an idea about Landon. This is kind of a Landon thing. You noticed Landon's role completely changed last year, sitting on the bench. So talk about in what ways he helped your basketball team from being the cheerleader, from formerly being one of the best players on the team. Kind of give us an idea as you had a chance to watch him mature, and now he's back playing, and how his maturation is helping the team even more now.
Well, I think the biggest way he helped was he was just the advice giver for all of us. If we had any problems with anything, he had been there before, and he's been in the spot where he had been to Branson before. He had been, in the conference tournament. He had the success that some of us had never seen before. So I think where he helped us the most was just explain, hey, even though we started off 9-0 in conference, he said now is definitely not the time to take it easy and coast, because he's been in that position before, and he knew what it took to get back to Branson, and he definitely communicated that to all of us.
Aaron Charles, Bethel Beacon. Coach, how do you replace the output that Jordan Bowerman gave you?
Jordan did a lot of things that people don't realize, not just on the stat side of things, but as a leader, as a senior, he did a lot of things. He's also a guy who had been in the national tournament, experienced those things, and probably the biggest thing that Jordan gave us was the ability to pass the ball so well. We could put him outside on the perimeter. He could shoot the pick and pop shot. He could put the ball on the floor a little bit. And so, you always look at the things that you lost from your team, and that was a big loss for us. But I think he gave us some dynamics of some inside presence that, honestly, we're going to miss Jordan. He had a great run. He had a great tournament out in Branson, and so he worked himself to be an All-American. So we're happy for his success, but we are going to miss that dynamic for sure.
Coach Adam Shearer, Fox 28. Just a lot of Michiana talent on your team. Talk about just having such a great local product kind of right here in Mishawaka.
Well, that's what we've really been the foundation of our program. We've been able to get local kids to stay. We're excited about some of the local freshmen are just coming in next year, even, with Will Stevie from Northwood just committing, and getting Gage Ott from LaPorte. So we've been able to get a lot of our local people right here because there's a lot of local talent right here, and there's a lot of local talent sitting right beside me right now. We look at Book from Adams, looking for Ryan Benner from Mishawaka. Those are two local guys that we saw play from junior high on up. And so we're going to continue to do that as much as possible and continue to find the best players we can to play in our program.
And this one's kind of a follow-up for Ryan and Landon, just being able to kind of represent your community in your senior or in your this year and what you're kind of expecting as far as the local support.
Well, I know there's going to be a lot of people out watching me. It's going to be my senior year, so it's not pressure, but it's more like excitement that they get to see me, and I definitely don't want to screw it up for anyone who's trying to come to Bethel that's going to be from Mishawaka. I want to be a good example that you can get good kids from Mishawaka. You don't have to go out of state looking for good players. You can look right here in Mishawaka and you can find good players.
And Landon, just representing kind of your Michiana community your senior year.
Well, it's just, I really don't take this for granted. There's not a lot of South Bend students, athletes who make it to college, let alone play basketball there too. So, I just really want to be a voice and a leader enough to be like, hey, you don't need to go or search for, some top Division I, school or anything like that. You can be satisfied and happy, being around, locally and achieve all the things you want to achieve. So,
Coach, are we going to see any of the players' roles drastically change this season?
Matt, that's a great question coming from a football, baseball mind. I think every year roles change. They have to because as you go into a new season, you have to find your new identity in each player. And so I think as you look at our team, I think we've got to continue to redefine those roles. When you look at the number of people we have back, you're thinking, well, everybody's got the same roles. But that's not the case. I think every year you got to kind of shuffle the cards, see how they play well together, who plays well together. And so we're still trying to redefine those roles and make sure that we get all the pieces of the puzzle put together. We'll find that out, here in the first few games. But I think we have a pretty good idea because of the people we have back, the experiences that they bring to the table, the skill set that they have. That we'll be fine in being able to find those roles.
Question for Pat Edding. Pat, it looks like you've slimmed down and gotten a little bit stronger during the course of the off season. Kind of give us an idea on where you're at. How's your game?
Yes, this summer I really worked hard on just cutting some unneeded weight. Not necessarily, I didn't necessarily lose weight, but I just cut what I didn't need. And I got a lot stronger in doing that, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I feel great. I'm jumping better. I'm quicker than I've ever been. And honestly, it's helped my body so much, knee-wise and foot-wise, that I just feel great right now.
Do you feel 100% healthy going into the season?
Right now, I feel 100% healthy, yes. My knees feel great, and they've hurt for the past few years. And I had foot issues last year, and my feet feel great right now. So.
A lot of people don't realize that if he ran a race against a pregnant lady, he'd finish third. So
I wasn't that out of shape.
Oh, well.
Question for Brandon Gerber. Brandon, give us an idea on how your role has changed, or if it's changed at all, and give us an idea of what you did in the offseason to get better.
Yeah, great question, Paul. The summer was great. Just an older group of guys being able to hold each other accountable. Through the summer, people shooting texts to each other. I know people up here working camps together, working out together, just making sure that everybody's doing their part, what we need to do. We got a taste of Branson last year, and that's where we want to be, and that's where we're going to make our run. So it's good to get out there and make us hungry for this year going in, and that started this summer. My role this year, really, along with all these other guys up here, is just to help lead by committee. We have a lot of great older guys who are experienced now. We've kind of been through the ropes. We've been here for 3 years now. It's our 4th year. So really just helping hold all these guys accountable, as well as being accountable to all of them, as well as it starts with us, and then works down to some of the underclassmen.
Just as a follow-up in regards to accountability, I know that you guys had a chance to go to the Dominican Republic on a mission trip, and I'd like to get each one of the student athletes as well as coaches' thoughts on how that went in regards to team bonding, as well as the this is what you're here for, is there? That's to be part of this missionary church and this university.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a large reason why I'm here at Bethel College is just for that. It's just a great community. I was able to witness that. My visit up here with Coach Lightfoot and his staff, and all the players that were here playing at that time, the family, the community that it is. And yeah, it's just a great opportunity. We get to go down every 2 years somewhere. It's been in the Dominican Republic the last 2 years now. I was excited when Coach said that we're going to be able to go down there, and it was just really neat with some of the freshman guys that were able to go to build those relationships and start that with those guys. I'm going to have that intentional time to really invest in them and get to know them a little bit better before we even step foot on the court. And just really try to use the game of basketball, game that we love and we've played for our whole life, really share the gospel of Jesus Christ. We just need to have that opportunity with them.
Well, I was able to go a couple of years ago, and it was really exciting to start off with, and you never really know how much you have until you actually go somewhere that you don't even have half the things that you have. So you get more appreciative of what you have, and just being able to go over there and share the gospel and share your love and get the basketball together. The team, and I really cherish that. Now, when I think about it, it's just amazing, great sight. I would recommend anyone to try and do it.
Yeah, this past summer in DR was amazing. It was not even so much for what we were able to do for other people, but what they were able to do for us. And just opening our eyes to another side of, or a different type of life, and just being vulnerable with each other, which we already have a really close team, and we just became so much closer. And guys like Ryan, Wasink, and Caleb were down there who were freshmen. It was awesome really getting to know them and become close friends with them as well. And it was just an awesome experience, and we're a stronger team because of it.
Yeah, I think I was kind of in the same boat with Landon. I wasn't able to go this past summer. I was still healing from some shoulder stuff. But I was able to go down freshman year, and I think the thing I took away most was how much sometimes I take for granted everything. And 90% of the kids we met down there didn't have a pair of shoes, and a lot of them were 16, 17 years old, and they had never had a pair of shoes their whole life. So I think one thing that Coach Lightfoot really communicated to me is what I took away was, if they can be that happy without a pair of shoes, right, what are you to not come out for 2 hours a day and give it everything you got? I think you owe it not to yourself, but to the guys who down there who don't have a pair of shoes to even walk to get water for the day. So I think that's another motivator for us, and he constantly reminds out of us that if you have a pair of shoes whenever you want, like, you owe it to them to come out and give everything you have.
So it's just good experience. I think one of the things that we try to do here, we try to broaden the horizons of our student athletes here at Bethel, giving them experience that maybe a lot of other kids don't have. I don't see Landon Booker having that opportunity if he goes someplace else that he had here, going from South Bend and end up in Santo Domingo. But those things can really, shape your life. You see a different side of things. You see a different culture. You see that America is just not the only thought, not the only process. There's other people out there and other ways of doing things that might not be wrong. So it's been a great experience for our guys. We'll continue to do that. And the team morale it brings with it. When you experience those things, you deal with sleeping in tough spots and all those things. I think it just makes the team unity and team chemistry stronger.
Coach, I know that David and Chris are both going to be redshirting this year, but what have you liked out of those two guys specifically so far?
Well, David went and broke his wrist the very first week of practice, and so that has kind of limited him to managerial duties. Evidently, he thought at Plymouth he could jump higher here than he could there, and so he broke his wrist trying to dunk. Chris, we've been really excited with. Chris is going to be outstanding. Chris Mitchell has got all the tools to be a great college basketball player, and knowing that he doesn't get to play yet, I think there can be a mindset that he could come in, just punch in, punch out, just put in his time, but that's not what he's doing. He's making himself better, but more importantly, he's making his teammates better. And so we're excited about his mindset, how he's coming in, and we're excited about the future of both those guys.
And then Ryan, just as a fellow caveman grad, kind of what example are you providing for Chris as he kind of works through his freshman year to get better?
Well, I think just to keep his head up. I know he's redshirting, and I know at times that can be tough. But I actually got the chance to play with him my senior year when he was a freshman, and a lot of times over the course of the first few months, we've gone back and we've thought about some funny stuff that happened on the team. And I just told him, like, that's what you're gonna remember most. I think about here is not necessarily like how many points you score, but the memories that you're gonna have here. And I think the one thing I'm trying to keep his spirits up about redshirting, because like Coach said, I think it's really easy to come in and punch out. But he's definitely doing the opposite. He's making everyone better along with himself.
Question for Coach Lightfoot. Coach, with Matt Schaus and Sacramento and Ryan, you have three great outside shitters that can light it up from anywhere on the floor. You had Landon into the mix that can bring another dimension. One thing about it, this team's not going to be have any difficulties shooting the ball. Just talk about the shooting prowess of this group.
We are really a good shooting team, and we can't disguise that. We can't hide that. That's who we are. And I think one of the things that we have to do is we've got to develop a mindset that we just don't settle for that. Because game in, game out, you're just not going to knock in all those perimeter shots. And so that's one of the things we've got to formulate is to be more diverse in what we can do and how we can set ourselves up to be successful when we're not knocking down those threes. We've got to be able to get to the line a lot more. We've got to be able to get inside and score more. We've got to post from a lot of different situations this year. I think we're going to be post by committee. We do know that we have great shooters, though, and so that's going to extend the defense. You can't just pack it in against us. You're going to have to extend your defense, and that's going to open up the drive. That's going to open opportunities for Book to attack the basket. That's going to also open up our bigs to be able to get some scores. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great thing to have. It's people that can shoot the ball. Let's face it. If you knock in shots, you look real smart as a coach.
Any other questions? Let's get final thoughts.
Well, my final thought is that if we stay healthy, we'll be fine. I think our league is extremely tough from top to bottom. It's the toughest in the country. And so we know that. And so I think the responsibility for us to go out and get better every day is really the challenge that we have to undertake. And I'm excited about that because that's what we try to do here. We try to put a product together, and right now we're going through a process to get where we want to be. We got to get from here to there. And that process, we got to take one day at a time, and hopefully we can stay healthy. I think some of these guys, all these guys have been banged up over their career. And so as I look around, we've got to stay healthy. And if we can stay healthy and continue to progress, continue to stay focused on what we want to do, it's going to be a fun year.
Guys, let's go down the line and say what you guys are looking forward to most this your senior year.
I'm just really excited to start playing games. It's been fun practicing, getting after it, but you can only beat up on each other for so long. It's been fun to actually be on the same team now and go against some of those other teams. So that's just really exciting. I mean, I think like anything, as things come to a close, it starts to make you appreciate things and not really take things for granted so much. So I think realizing that's our senior year and it's our last go around to get this program back to where it needs to be and how we found it where it was when we came in, to leave our mark and really just invest back in the freshmen. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, just to follow up here, just like exactly how I put it. Last year, definitely took a step back. So just basically being appreciative of every day back and every practice we did, every game. I know for me, it's kind of hard to see full season, just going through all those injuries. But I just want to make sure I'm taking practice in the game, and basically just leave good legacy. It doesn't matter if all about those other points and how much you do on the court. I feel like it's more what you do off the court as well as the 2 years out. So basically just like making memories with the guys and just doing this last year.
I found that you really start appreciating things more when you realize it's almost over. I mean, we got one more, not even a full year competitive basketball left in my life. And this is the last time I get to go around and get after it with these guys. So that's been the most exciting thing, I think, is just that, I mean, just being in college and practice with my closest friends every day and get after it and then go back and hang out. I mean, that's the most exciting thing about this year and what we're capable of doing.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to walk after this year. But on a serious note, I think before it was easier maybe if, like, I want to take a break, it's easier to say, there's always tomorrow. There's always next year. And I always had that to fall back on. It's been my senior year. There's no tomorrow a lot of times for seniors. And I think just playing every practice like it's the last practice. I always joke around with these guys. This is the last 4th week of practice we'll ever have in our life, or this is the last 20th practice we'll ever have in our life. But I think you can take that seriously too. Like you're never going to get this day back, especially being a senior. So I think that's my mindset going into each practice and going into this season.
One other thing I'd just like to point out, we've got, I think, a unique thing. I think we have 6 academic All-Americans this year, or should have a good shot of that at this table. Ryan Benner's pre-med. Patriotic to my right is economics and finance. General studies right here, I believe, with sports studies and sports management. Gerb is business, and you have another minor? Marketing as well. So it's really neat to see that these guys are really student athletes, and I appreciate their time. Hopefully they didn't miss a class. I know Ms. is in the class, but hopefully no one else missed a class. If that's the case, get out of here and get back to class. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys. Good luck this season.